Okay, so I get a lot of questions asking about gates, so I'm just gonna have a little discussion. Right in front of you is a little illustration of a square gate, which most of you are familiar with. Square gate. I'll put it on a black surface so you can see it. As you can see there, that the gate has corners, which some people don't like. Now let's actually talk about the properties of the gate. As you can see, in a square gate, all the active fields dedicated for their direction, up, down, left, right, and their respective diagonals, are distributed evenly, okay? 11% across the board. Now then, one of the properties with this kind of gate that some people don't like is that the distance from the center to the diagonal is actually longer than any of the up, down, left, or right. So that can get some people confused. The reason why Japanese players like this field is because all of the fields are equal. So basically they can make a small movement such as a quarter circle back or quarter circle forward and still get their input. Okay? They don't have to throw all the way to the edge of the field and up across to get to their input, because that's slower. Any movement that requires a larger movement is slower. Now then, a gate like this is usually used in a competition joystick or a very sensitive joystick, which is why some people opt out some people who bring sticks for consoles or whatever, they opt out to use a octagonal plate. I'll show you these in a second, octagonal and octagonal, whatever you want to call it, and circle. But first I want to talk about throw angle. So I've got a joystick right here. That's the original Madcast joystick. What I'm talking about is that instead of, okay, you could throw all the way down until you hear that click, because the restrictor gate is locking it in place, okay? That's maximum throw angle, okay? Japanese players don't throw all the way down in order to feel it. So that's just a little explanation. Now, let's take an octagonal gate. An octagonal gate, okay, all the fields are not equally distributed. Okay, but however, every point that dictates a direction is equidistant from the center. All these points are the same length. Doesn't matter. Which is why some people like this, you know? And they like to know where they are in the position of the throw. Okay, I know I'm down because it'll lock down. I know I'm down forward because it'll lock down forward. This is my preference of joystick. And other people like the square. Has the same properties as the octagonal, but there's no corners. No corners at all. That's another preference. Okay, and of course the fields here are unequally distributed. You can see that the activation fields here and here for the diagonals are much smaller than they are for any other direction. So let's make a conclusion. If you're confident in making small movements and you want to be really quick with your joystick, it doesn't matter any of these, what kind of gate you get. Okay? Basically, this just restricts the throw distance. Same thing with this one. The throw distance is shortened from the square, because in the square, the diagonals are longer. In both the octagonal and the circle, the diagonals are equal distance with everything else. Okay? So, if you're confident making small motions, doesn't matter what gate you use. If you like to have like to put it into the maximum throw angle, you want one of these. One of these or one of these. And it's basically preference. I like this because I know that I'm down, or I'm down forward or right, because the joystick will lock into a position. You can feel a notch. Some people don't like that, so they'll opt for a circle. Okay, hope that helps.